Ladies and gents, welcome to UX, and this is you need to quit weed. Yeah, I don't think so, son. Yeah, okay. This is going to be controversial. People are going to be pissed off about this because weed is one of the most safe perceived drug that is, where people think weed has no issue. Which, if you know about anything, you know that that's probably BS because no way that's the case, right? Like there are things that are much effed up than weed, probably, but yeah, even if you ask the most intense weed users, they would tell. I mean, if they're self-aware, they would tell you that yeah, this is probably gonna have issues in the future. But yeah, I know of that type of thing. So scientifically, which issues? Like I'm not gonna lie, even I don't know about it because I always assume weed is really safe compared to everything else. If you want to talk about other ones, like yeah, I generally know the issues. I can list here, but I'm afraid of saying things because YouTube is very like paranoid, picky. As soon as certain words are spoken, YouTube will be triggered instantly. So yeah, that's always one.
It is a serious drug that can have devastating consequences for your life. This is an unpopular thing to say, but it's true. We don't think it should be illegal because for most people using weed isn't problematic or has only mild negative consequences. But about 20% of people who've ever tried it develop cannabis use disorder, and some of them become severely addicted. That's actually a stunning amount of people, and many who start using weed don't know what they're in for.
The fuck?
In the US, daily or near daily weed use...
What do you mean can't even... This is like saying, yes, it's a drug in the end. Even the most bad, basic, like low-end pain things like tramadol, if you do it enough, there is going to be like addiction to it. So cannabis use disorder, that just means people got addicted to it. Like, yeah, that just makes sense. How do you not know that? It's a drug in the end. There's a reason why people smoke it. So is that the all? I mean, obviously there's going to be more to it. Otherwise, because I wouldn't make video like this. But yeah, that doesn't say much. Yeah, there's a. If you eat sugar enough, like there was a time where even I noticed that. And when I noticed that, I panicked and stopped eating sugar. If you eat sugar at high amount, that's 100 grams plus every day. There'll be time if you don't eat sugar, you'll feel something is off today, right? You just want something. Your body will just crave it, and you realize, wait a minute, my body wants sugar. As soon as you eat, sometimes you get, like migraines that can be solved with sugar. If you eat it and you're like, oh, this feels good. You just assume because sugar made you feel good, that went away. But no, that's some form of weird addiction. So anything can have addiction property to it. But probably not anything, but yeah, a lot of things, even simple things like sugar, even that has that.
Has skyrocketed since way before legalization, and there are now more daily users of weed than drinkers of alcohol.
What?
And most daily users consume very high amounts. In 2023, 1 in 15 adult Americans were suffering from some form of cannabis addiction. In England, cannabis is by far the top drug teenagers seek help for. Today, we'll ignore medical use, casual users, and people with mild problems, and instead, we focus on the people who have a serious addiction or are in danger of developing one, even if they're not aware of it. Weed is usually discussed in the context of teenagers because using any drug while your brain is melting and rebuilding itself is a bad idea. Instead, we'll have a frank conversation about how it affects you in your 20s and 30s.
You mean teenager like 18 or 19? Is that what you're saying? Okay, so in America, you need to be 21 to drink, but you can use weed at 18. What is the, mentality behind that? I'm one of those people who would say like 18 is way too young for anything. Driving license, going to military, drinking weed, anything. Teenagers are morons, right? Like it's proven time and time again. So, if you can push limit to 21, I would say do that shit.
We'll combine research with our own personal experience of weed addiction. Unfortunately, we do have plenty of both. Please check out.
Oh, there you
go. But also know this script is written by someone who used weed daily for 15 years before quitting. Okay, so let's get into it. Becoming addicted by accident. Most people slip into addiction gradually and slowly. They start using weed for a variety of reasons, to experiment, to cope or unwind from stress, because it's fun and easily available. Weed can make you feel more alive and things more exciting. Music sounds better, movies are funnier, food is a delight. It can be great fun with friends and a major source of comfort. The frequency with which you're consuming weed
just like any other pain things, let's just say, or anything that affects your brain, you would know that it just increases, like feel good receptors, endorphins, whatever. So even if you just sit there, you'll just feel good, right? You could just sit there, eat chips, and watch basic, like, I don't know, cat videos, and you'll feel like fine and good. Whatever part of your brain wants more or want to accomplish more, or like, why are you wasting time? That type of portion of your brain shuts off completely. You just feel good. It's just endorphins are just releasing. That's it. Like nothing else can compare to that. And obviously, like eventually your brain figures it out and like put a stop to it. So that's when increasing dose element starts, which is the problem.
Is the most obvious thing to look out for. If you're using daily or almost daily, this is a clear sign you're developing a problem. As a daily user, your risk of cannabis use disorder is up to 30%, and certainly a pretty relevant risk since it might take years before you realize the full weight of it. So, if you're not careful about it, what started out as an occasional high becomes more and more normalized. Bit by bit, your weekends revolve around weed or shift to activities that you can do stoned. Often other hobbies or obligations become less of a priority. Then it creeps into most weekdays, and finally, it's an established ritual every day. Over time, weed's nature changes. The joy-enhancing effects dissipate while a comfortable numbness takes over. Weed can become your primary method of coping with life, but it doesn't make you stronger, better, or more resilient.
Yeah, and also, like, I'm glad he said that. When that feely good thing goes away, the numbness stays, which I think a lot of people want. Like if you are anxiety prone, the numbness just like it's not just numbness, like it's focus. You can focus, not focus. I don't know how to say that. Like you can linearly do something. Like you can focus on one thing rather than be stressed out, have anxiety, all the what ifs and things, and like whatever gives you anxiety, and you're not thinking of 10 things. You can just be calm and focus, like numbness. That's what that is. The problem with that is that also kind of leads to weird form of depression in long term. Like if you reach that point, you would know, like I reached that point. And you probably need to stop that so your brain can reconfigure. And you can like a breaking plateau, I guess, right? Anything has that. Even caffeine has that. If you drink caffeine for long enough time, you need to take a few weeks off if you want to feel that the way coffee makes you feel. If you want to feel that, you need to take few weeks off. Same thing with this, and yeah, so it will give you weird form of depression, right? It's like you won't be able to put your finger to it. Like everything's fine. Why am I fucking depressed? I was never this depressed. It's probably because of that. You're no longer feeling good. You're feeling numb, but you're also, that numbness comes with depression of some kind.
Instead, it covers up negative emotions by building a snail shell that you can retreat into. Do you have a problem with weed? Super easy test. Stop doing it for 4 weeks, starting today. Not tomorrow, today. No matter what you have coming up. If that feels challenging or you can't make it, this should give you food for thought. Once weed has become a daily or near daily habit.
Yeah, that has never been a thing in my life that I'm like, I can't do this or it's challenging. Probably because I never went to that point, but just thinking about it, there is a certain point where I'm like, I have to do this. I can't even think about taking 4 weeks off. That's just scary thought to me. I can't be at that level, let's just say, as a person. And everybody has their values and their like principles, I don't know. I can't be the one who's at that position, doesn't matter what, right? Just thinking about like I might be dependent on something at the level where I can't even think about taking it off for multiple weeks. That just scares me.
Habit, the cumulative damage to your life can be profound. But first, let's talk about another thing that can become harmful without you noticing it. No data security. Today's sponsor, Incogni, helps you reduce your risk of scam, harassment, and more. Data brokers constantly collect your valuable personal data, which can quickly fall into the wrong hands. The result is lots
Go to original page link and from there support this channel.
of annual plans. And now, back to weed. Forever tomorrow. For problematic weed users, life can sometimes progress in slow motion. The addiction keeps you where you are, while your body ages and your friends move forward. But youth masks stagnation. For years, you don't notice how much weed might be holding you back because if you're young, life changes by itself. The outside world takes on the initiative and provides a lot of support for you. You're surrounded by peers, may still have childhood friends, progress through school, start work or university, and find new places and friendships. Moving slowly is kind of okay in your 20s as life naturally throws experiences and challenges at you. But it's still not great for you. This is the time when your body is probably at its peak and you can use it for things you'll not be able to do later, from sports to dating.
I don't know about peak, man. I don't understand that concept really. I think from 20 to all the way to 40 or even 45, depending on your DNA and genetics, you're probably at your peak. You would say like you're not 100% how you were at, let's say, age 23 when you were like age 37 or 38. Maybe, but you substitute that with experience. So if anything, I would say like late 30s and 13, late 30s, you're at your best. Very few people look at their 20s and think, yeah, that was my peak. Very few people do that. And yeah, when it comes to like, let's just say age from 25 to 30, 35 or something, that time is crucial just because the way you progress. Because time will pass by. To me, I was 25, 26, just like, I don't know, like before COVID or something. Is that right? Yeah, something like that. Right? And COVID came and went, and like past few years have gone, like, yeah, my life is fine, like I'm active enough, but still it just feels like yesterday. COVID feels like yesterday and it's been 5 years. So this time is like, yeah, it just flies off, man.
Staying out late, traveling and experiencing the world. It's the easiest time to build a healthy social life, the greatest predictor of how happy you'll be over the next few decades. You'll likely never have fewer responsibilities again, so you can explore and take risks. Spending this time stoned with passive activities like scrolling over reposts on Reddit is something you might regret later. You'll never get this period of your life back. As you age out of your 20s, things change massively. Around this
Yeah, I don't want to be that guy or something, but like assuming a lot of people have control over their life in their 20s where they can just explore and have fun. Yeah, most people are struggling. Most people are like confused. Most people don't know what the fuck they're going to do in the future. Anxiety is probably higher. That's why the weed use. So yeah, I think people just substitute like, yeah, pressure of everything, pressure of that, pressure of like getting married and shit. Like who knows what I'm going to be in 20s, what am I going to be, what job I'm going to get, am I going to get promotion? Shit like this, like you probably have early 20s and like mid 20s go by like that. Most people don't just have fun, go hiking and just like, unless you're a multi-millionaire, that's probably not going to be the thing you do all the time.
time, most people naturally tone down their weed consumption or quit entirely. You're entering one of life's great inflection points, and you risk getting left behind. Your social life is different after 30. Friendships need care, attention, and active time investment to survive, and weed addiction works against you on multiple levels. Studies show that for some people, weed can worsen social anxiety, especially if you start using more and more. And once you feel anxious about socializing, it becomes pretty tempting to just stay home and avoid events or new experiences. Since weed numbs feelings, it's easy to push away FOMO or guilt about cancelling last minute. You'll go next time. But will you? Speaking from personal experience, you may turn into a friend that's unreliable, flaky, or rarely shows up anymore. But the more opportunities to hang out with friends you skip, the fewer will be there in the future. Especially if you do.
See, the thing is, I'm in my early 30s. 31, 30, yeah. I'm in my early 30s, and at this point, look, my business and job takes a lot of time, right? All my other friends are, some of them are abroad, some of them are here. They have similar situation as mine, right? So most people are understanding when you don't have time and just to meet up. And, when we can basically, schedule time and meet up, but it's sparse, obviously. Everybody's understanding because everybody's in the same boat. So 30s are different in that way. And like you physically can't find the time. I was a big ass gamer in my teens and in my 20s. Nowadays, even though I like games, I can barely play it. Right now I'm playing Outer Worlds 2 because it's Obsidian game, right? But before that, I don't even remember. When did I play a game? I don't remember that. It's been many months or something like that, right? I'm a big Stalker fan. I played Stalker 2, played it a bit. And for some reason, because I guess a lot of AI and things are not working, I stopped playing that game. I still haven't played that game, right? So it's like things are different in your 30s.
Weed alone, it can become the central focal point in your life. Reports show that many people with addictions gradually reduce the activities or hobbies they once enjoyed in favor of consuming. Bit by bit, this can make you withdraw from the people in your life. While this can be pretty bad for your social life in your 20s, it may be catastrophic by the time you turn 30. Because in their 30s, most people are plenty busy. Career.
Yeah, the point here, I think what I'm going to say here, I don't know if it worked or not. I think, like, be active. Go to gym. That's what I'm going to say. You like, what the fuck gym has to do with, or lifting some weight has to do with anything. It's about your mindset. It's about how physiologically you'll change. If you're doing this and you feel like you're getting slowed, or like people are passing you by and you're just like somewhat depressed and just sit at your home and don't do much and you're constantly doing that, just spend an hour a day in gym. You'll be surprised how active you will be. You'll be surprised how mentally, physically you want to do something. Hell, fuck it, let's go for a hike with my friends. You will have that thought. Like, going to gym and being active physically and like mentally changes you, right? You're literally active. There are many athletic things you can do if you reach that point, right? And you just want to do that. Like, your hormonal response in your body is just like great, right? Because hormones is one of those things that get stagnant if you stay at home too much. If you're depressed, if you don't do anything, just sit on your couch. That is one of the biggest things that take hit. And that's what that amplifies your depression. That's what makes you like, what's the point? Let's just sit here. But if you're active, just spend like 40 minutes a day. Not even a day, like 5 times a week, 40 minutes a day, right? If you just do that, you'll be surprised how active you are.
Partners, travel, children, and their closest friends are now priorities. Free time becomes super valuable, and casual hangouts turn into two adults comparing their calendars. So people in their 30s are way more selective about what and who they spend their time with. Smoking a joint drops way down their priority list. Even without falling out, you may simply...
Don't your accountants or something that do your taxes for you, man? You have to file taxes by yourself, just going through the process, all right.
Become incompatible if your identity becomes tied up with weed, or when your friends have a lot going on and you don't. This happens a lot without weed, but weed can supercharge it. So many problematic weed users focus on a small circle of friends and acquaintances who are also using weed. This can create an isolation trap. If your friends quit or they withdraw to use it alone, you can face sudden isolation and loneliness. Or you may feel pressure to keep using it because you're scared of losing your friends. It's harder and takes longer.
Yeah, but OnlyFans probably replaced that. The part of your brain that tells you I'm alone and sitting in my sofa and like this real self-revelation that people can have. Usually your brain doesn't want to have that and will find alternative. Hence, dun 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 dun, that music or OnlyFans. Shit like this, this is why these things are so famous. This is why like you hear about, let's just say certain influencer doing ridiculous things like 1,000 men a day and shit like that, right? These things get famous because there are real people shoving money there. Because they are at this position, they are alone sitting on sofa and this is the alternative. That's fucked up. That is way fucked up to me than I think most people realize. That is destabilizing for the future, right? Like when you really process that, like, yeah, that's not good. These are literal like standards that are being set for the future. That's not going to be easy to pull out of, right? This is like setting a precedent level thing. 10, 20 years from now on, people, even if they want to pull out, they won't be able to do it. This is a trend that people do. And now robotics being a real thing, this is not good, man.
To make new friends in your 30s than in your 20s, so to change your situation you need courage, energy and motivation, things weed addiction makes much harder to muster. Worse still, people who feel lonely tend to use more weed to cope, which is linked to even more social isolation. Weed can fill the role of your best friend. It's there when you're lonely, it makes you feel okay in the moment. Your love life can also suffer. Social anxiety and complacency is a great motivator to put off dating and having sexual experiences in your 20s, and it doesn't get much easier as time passes. In relationships, weed addiction can be extremely disruptive. Reports show that partners of daily users can feel neglected, that couple communication can break down, and that trust evaporates. The addicted partner usually doesn't realize how poorly they're handling relationship issues.
Yeah, I think it's because in order to like solve your anxiety problem, you solved it so much that any anxiety feels too much to you. That is a real thing in today's world. I saw a meeting of new Democrats, left-wing people. Versus like, let's everybody talk slower so nobody gets triggered by loud talking. Are you fucking kidding me? You real? What if invasion stuff? What if China, Russia, and everybody just invades everybody, including America? How the fuck are you the one who's going to fight back and preserve your freedom? Don't speak louder. I'm too sensitive. What the fuck? This is what happens, right? So there's a sweet spot of everything. People need to realize like you can't push back and forth. You can't have all the anxiety. That's too much. But you also can't have like no anxiety at all. Like I can't even touch that shit. That's not how real world works, man. You need some of it to be somewhat strong.
Issues and can be blindsided when their love leaves them. And to be frank, in their 30s, people want a partner who's ready to share the growing responsibilities of adulthood and wants to build a life together. The older you get, the more unattractive your weed addiction makes you. Okay, but who needs friends or love if you have a career, right? Well, the achievement delay machine. Long-term studies show that heavy weed users are more likely to end up with reduced academic performance, a worse education, lower income, less savings, and less stable employment, even when compared to people from similar family.
This is not, you don't need really study for that. Anybody who's ever done any of this, you realize the calming thing that comes with it also removes your, I'm going to do this, fuck yeah, let's go. That's no longer there. Opposite of that is there. So your drive, like there is this certain feeling, right? Like when you play a certain video game and you really love that video game, you achieve something, you're like, yeah, let's go. I want to play this game all night. I don't want to sleep. That feeling is no longer there if you do all these things, right? I noticed that shit. I'm like, wait a minute, why? And then I experimental wise, like I stopped doing that and like, yeah, I'm feeling excited. There's like, fuck yeah, let's go feeling to it that I didn't have before. So this is a real thing. Like the thing that makes you so calm and just, let's just sit in sofa, calm, let's melt into this sofa is anti-drive. So if you don't have that, you're not like, yeah, I'm going to get this degree, I'm going to achieve this in life. You're like, calm down, what's the problem? Let's just sit down here, we'll be fine. Yeah, that's not really good. That's not really good for human progression.
Backgrounds and social class. Many people with weed addiction struggle to show up for work. They're not productive, they procrastinate, and they fail to meet their responsibilities.
Nice, dude.
The consequences of missed opportunities and bad decisions slowly accumulate. Maybe you skipped networking events, had no ambition, and didn't get promoted, or hopped between entry-level jobs. It's also much harder to build up savings since the addiction can cost you thousands each year. In your 20s, you transition from being useless to being good at something. And so in your 30s, expectations from others and yourself change sharply. People tend to cut you a lot of slack when you're young, but this has an expiration date.
Stupid.
The older you get, the worse it feels to compare yourself to peers that are moving on in life and start achieving things. And it's not just career goals. If you spend a decade or two using weed all the time, you grow less as a person. You probably traveled less, went out less, met fewer people, had fewer interesting experiences, and in a way lived less than your peers, which also really becomes noticeable in your 30s. In some studies, long-term chronic weed users had significantly lower life satisfaction, from their motivation and pursuit of personal goals, social and love life, to careers and options.
Yeah, but the feeling of satisfaction itself is numbed out, by the way. So even if you do something that would satisfy you, it probably won't because of it.
Your life may just overall be much less fun and fulfilling than it could have been. On top of all this, your mental health is the final thing that you may erode over time. The prison of weed. What makes weed addiction so devious is how at first it can seem to improve your mental health. It can calm anxiety or depressive feelings, make you more relaxed and feel less lonely. But weed acts on your brain's reward system and the effects can flip without you noticing. Weed can damage your ability to regulate your emotions and can worsen anxiety or depressive feelings and can escalate into serious mental disorders, which you might think that you can self-medicate against by doing even more weed. This can impair your coping skills, making you fragile and easily overwhelmed, unable to deal with stress, increase anxiety or depressive symptoms, worsen your mood, cause mood swings and irritability. The addiction can hold back a dam of bottled up negative feelings that's ready to crash into you and the people around you at any time, until eventually it doesn't work anymore. Especially during a mental health crisis, weed can make things much worse for you. On the flip side, there's research that shows that addicted people who give up weed experience a noticeable improvement in their mental health. Here's the thing. All the negatives we talked about, missing your life as it flies by, social isolation and not even getting close to living up to your potential, are not happening sometime in the future, but today. No matter your age, if you find yourself addicted or in danger of becoming addicted, there is a way out. It's not fun and it will be hard. You need to quit. And the earlier you do, the better your life will be.
I thought that was going somewhere dark. Okay. I don't know why I
Don't
thought
give
that.
up. There's a whole life out there waiting.
There you go. Yeah, I think you can replace weed with any other ones with this, but the problem with other ones are too extreme. So you don't need to replace weed with that one to fit this point, because it will be very apparent. But yeah, basically other things kind of affect the same way. Our brain is combination of certain like chemicals that needs to be in balance. Any imbalances you introduce, any medication, yeah, if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, and even most, like medical experts barely know what they're doing because science is not there yet. But if you fuck with it in any scale, like, yeah, most studies have not been in like 10 plus years, right? I don't even know if they're like, maybe they're doing it for a few years, but like anything more like 10 plus years, 20 years, you don't know what a drug's effect is going to be then. If something is safe for now, you don't know if that's going to be safe long term. Most people don't realize that. Oh, this study's been done for 6 months. It's fine, so probably going to be fine. Not really. Anything you put in your body, calm down with it. Like you really need to think about it. Like, do I really need this? If I need this, like, okay, let's sparsely use it at extreme time that when I need it, right? Unless it's like proper medication, you really need help. That's a different case. But things like weed and things like, yeah, don't just willy nilly, like, yeah. I realized that, few years ago. I realized that shit, like, I shouldn't do this, and like, yeah, I don't touch that, right? Because, yeah, you realize pretty soon, like, life is fine. You can enhance with something like this, but it doesn't last. Or did you really enhance it? Yeah, shit like that. But yeah, sometimes when you're really under anxiety, you need it, then you need it, I guess. I don't know. Right, well, if you like my next one, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.